Cherbourg-Octeville is a city and former commune situated at the northern end of the Cotentin Peninsula in the northwestern French department of Manche. It is a sub-prefecture of its department, and was officially formed when the commune of Cherbourg absorbed Octeville on 28 February 2000. On 1 January 2016, it was merged into the new commune of Cherbourg-en-Cotentin. The city is a maritime prefecture and sub-prefecture of La Manche. Due to its union, it is the most populated city in its department with 37,121 inhabitants, making it the first city of the department before the sub-prefecture, and the second in the region after Caen. Cherbourg-en-Cotentin is protected by Cherbourg Harbour, between La Hague and Val d'Isère, and the city has been of strategic position over the centuries, disputed between the English and French. Cited as one of the keys to the kingdom by Vauban, it became, by colossal maritime development work, a first-rate military port under the leadership of Louis XVI and Napoleon, and holds an arsenal of the French Navy, a stopping point for prestigious transatlantic liners in the first half of the 20th century. Cherbourg was the primary goal of U.S. troops during the invasion of Normandy in 1944. Along with its use as a military, fishing and yachting port, it is also a cross-channel ferry port, with routes to the English ports of Poole and Portsmouth, the Irish port of Rosslare Harbour and St Helier on Jersey. Limited by its geographical isolation from being a great commercial port, it is nonetheless an important shipbuilding centre, and a working-class city with a rural hinterland. On Wednesday, the 10th of April 1912, the RMS Titanic crossed the English Channel and docked here at 7 p.m. local time before raising anchor at 9:10 p.m. local time and sailing to her final stop, Queenstown, Ireland. Geography. Neighbouring communes. Location. Cherbourg-en-Cotentin is located at the northern tip of the Cotentin Peninsula, in the department of Manche, of which it is a sub-prefecture. At the time of the 1999 census, the city of Cherbourg had an area of 6.91 square kilometers, while the city of Octeville had an area of 7.35 square kilometers. The largest city in the department of Manche, it is the result of the merger of the communes of Cherbourg and Octeville. The amalgamated city today has an area of 14.26 square kilometers. Cherbourg is situated at the mouth of the Devet and at the south of the bay, between Cap-Cherbourg-Octeville to the east and Cap de la Hague to the west. Cherbourg-Octeville is 120 kilometers from the English coast. Cherbourg-en-Octeville-sur-Cherbourg once belonged to the deanery of La Hague, delimited by the Devet. In 1786, a part of Cherbourg-Octeville joined Cherbourg during the construction of the port, and then in 1802, a portion of Octeville. Since 1811, the Miel of Tourlaville, commune of the deanery of Serres, are integrated into the Cherbourg territory known as the quarter of Val d'Isère, where the Pasteur Hospital and the St Clement Church were built. Thus, Cherbourg-Octeville lies both in La Hague and in the Val d'Isère. Like all Chanterine and the area of the Miel, the Cherbourg territory was reclaimed from the sea. Built at the level of the sea, the town developed at the foot of the Roule Mountain in Le Fauconnier. Octeville is a former rural municipality, composed of hamlets, whose settlement extended from the 19th century and whose territory is highly urbanized since 1950, especially around the ZAP of the provinces and the university campus. The bordering communes are Tourlaville to the east, Cherbourg-Octeville to the west, Le Glacerie to the south and southeast, Martinvast to the south, and Nouenville and Sideville to the southwest. Geology. Located at the end of the Armorican Massif, Cherbourg-en-Cotentin retains traces of the geologic formation, deformed granites and metamorphic schists of the Precambrian of Hercynian orogeny by the folding of the Arcosas of the Cambrian and Armorican. sandstone and shale of the Ordovician. These folds result in layers of sandstone tilted 45 degrees towards the northeast on La Fauconnière and the Montagne-du-Roule. These two cliffs are due to sea erosion in the Quaternary. The retreat of the sea then gave way to sand dunes and tidal marshes, destroyed by the urbanization of the 17th and 19th centuries, identical to those of Colognon in Tourlaville. These rocks in the soil have been used for centuries in several ways. Crushed granite extracted in Querqueville and Arcoses of Becket have been used for the manufacture of rubble, and blocks squared for lintels. The greenschist, whose color comes from chlorite and cerussite, are used mainly for roofing in Nord-Cotentin, but also masonry in Cherbourg. The Armorican sandstone of the Montagne-du-Roule is used for rubble and rock fill. Most of the many quarries which opened in the metropolitan area for building the harbour wall are now closed. Hydrography: Cherbourg-en-Cotentin is bordered by the sea. The construction of the Port of Trade, from 1769, accompanied by the diversion of the Devet and the Trottebec, gathered in the Canal de Retenue, along the Avenue de Paris and Rue du Val-de-Serre. The streams of the Bucaille and the Fay, which watered the Croûte du Homet, disappeared in the 18th century during the construction of the military port. Climate: Cherbourg-en-Cotentin has a temperate oceanic climate. Its maritime character causes high humidity and a strong sea wind, commonly stormy but also low seasonal variations of temperature and few days of frost. The combined effect of the wind and the tides can generate a rapid change of weather in a single day, with sun and rain which can be a few hours apart. The influence of the Gulf Stream and the mildness of the winter allow the naturalization of many Mediterranean and exotic plants which are present in the public and private gardens of the city. Despite average insolation, the climate is similar to areas much further north in Britain and Ireland due to the extreme moderation. Summers are far cooler than expected by French standards. Routes of communication and transport. Road. Historically, Cherbourg-en-Cotentin is at the western end of Route Nationale 13, which runs through the city by the Rouge Terres and the Avenue de Paris, from La Glacerie. In the 1990s, a deviation from the road, now European routes E03 and E46, referred traffic through La Glacerie and Tourlaville on a three-way axis from La Glacerie to the Penasme roundabout at Tourlaville, and then a dual carriageway to a roundabout located between Colognon Beach and the Porte des Flamands. An extension to Cherbourg is in the works, with the doubling of the bridge over the Porte des Flamands, to ensure a continuity of the dual carriageway to the commercial port in Cherbourg. The old Route Nationale 801, which connects Cap de la Hague to Barfleur, crosses the city from east to west. After the completion of the bypass east of the agglomeration, a western bypass project is under study, and a zone corresponding to the future final route has been selected. Similarly, upgrading to a dual carriageway for access of Maupertus Airport is envisaged. The D650 is used to connect Cherbourg to the west coast of the Cotentin Peninsula. Departing from Cherbourg, the D650 takes a southwesterly direction to Les Pierres and then along to join the Côte des Isles to Barneville-Carteret. In the approach to Cherbourg, this road has undergone development in recent years, with amenities by virtue of the peri-urbanization of the communes in its path, with the awarding of autoroute status to the RN13 in 2006. The work of upgrading to motorway standard between Cherbourg and Caen is being undertaken over a 10-year period. The construction work of the RN13 at the entrance of the Cherbourg agglomeration was completed in early 2009. Cherbourg-Octeville is a port on the English Channel with a number of regular passenger and freight ferry services operating from the large, modern ferry terminal, and has a major artificial harbour. The following operators currently run services from the port: Brittany Ferries to Poole and Portsmouth, Stena Line to Rosslare, Irish Ferries to Rosslare and Dublin, Condor Ferries to Portsmouth. Cherbourg-en-Cotentin has previously had services operated by the following operators: Stena Line to Southampton, withdrawn in 1996, P&O Ferries to Portsmouth, withdrawn in 2005 following a business review, P&O Irish Sea to Rosslare and Dublin, Dublin service withdrawn in 2004 and Rosslare service sold to Celtic Link. HD Ferries to Guernsey and Jersey, operated in 2007 but cancelled in 2008 due to lack of customers. Celtic Link Ferries to Rosslare, service sold to Stena Line. It should be mentioned that Brittany Ferries to Poole briefly stopped the conventional ferry service in early 2010 but resumed it in February 2011. The port welcomes some 30 cruise ships per year, including the largest, thanks to a cruise terminal built in 2006 in the Gare Maritime de Cherbourg, which had opened in 1933 on the Quai de France next to the Cité de la Mer. Frequently, cruise ships which have planned for another destination have taken refuge in the port, for protection from the frequent storms. Conventional cargo ships berth in the eastern area of the docks on the Quai des Flamands and Quai des Miels. During the construction of the Concorde prototypes in the 1960s, some sections built in the United Kingdom passed by ferry through Cherbourg, for transfer to Toulouse. Rail the Paris-Cherbourg railway line, operated by Syryatsu Ferré de France, ends at Cherbourg railway station, which opened in 1858 and welcomes 1 million passengers every year. This line continued, at the beginning of the 20th century, up to the resort of Erville-Nacqueville and was complemented by the Tuvax which served from Cherbourg to Val de Serre between 1911 and 1950. Today, the Intercité Paris-Cherbourg line is the most profitable in its class with profit over €10 million per year despite numerous incidents and delays. Regular services operate to Paris-Saint-Lazare-Vircon using Intercité stock. Local air services operate from the station to Lisieux-Vircon and to Rennes via Saint-Lô. Intercité services to Paris-Saint-Lazare take 3 hours on average. From July 2009 to December 2010, a TGV Cherbourg-Dijon service operated via Mantes and Roissy TGV, with 1 daily round trip. It operated experimentally for 3 years and gave the people of Cherbourg direct access by rail to France's primary airport. The service ceased prematurely, as the minimum threshold of passenger traffic was not met. As well as a mainline station, there was also the Gare Maritime transatlantic station. This now forms part of the Cité de la Mer. The Compagnie des Transports de Cherbourg was created in 1896, connecting the Place de Tourlaville and the Place du Château by a tramway in Cherbourg, then to Erville. After the German occupation and bombardment of the tram depot, the use of buses took over, and it was not until 1962 that the network had several lines. From 1976, the Communauté urbaine de Cherbourg supported the jurisdiction of public transit. Management of the public service is delegated to Keolis. The CTC took the name of Zephyr Bus in 1991. The network covers the whole of the metropolitan area. In recent years, a night bus service has also been created. Cherbourg-Octeville and its suburbs are also served by the Manéo departmental bus service. Air de Cherbourg Maupertus Airport, located in Maupertus-sur-Mer, serves the city. Its 2,440 meters runway hosts charter flights. After stopping the daily service to Paris by twin jet, in spring 2008, a new link with Caen Paris started with Chalair on the 27th of October 2008. With 40,500 passengers in 2007, the airport had lost 30% of its commercial passengers, and 10% of its total traffic over a year.